Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the Press Circle of Pin podcast featuring the TNT crew of Thunder and Captain Turbo. And
Yeah.
here we are today. We're going to be reviewing, of course, the latest WWE pay-per-view, the first one after WrestleMania, Payback.
The new era. We can't forget, they keep trying to plug the new era.
Yeah, the new era of the wrestling. So yeah, we're a couple days later on this, but
Yeah.
it was it's the first possible date we were going to be able to get this done. So.
Not necessarily, I could have done Monday, but I haven't been feeling well the last week, so blame me for that. But we're not going to jump straight into the pay-per-view. Occasionally, if we have like news or something to talk about, as always, we talk about that first, and
Yeah.
we're kind of starting this off on a pretty sad note, actually.
Yeah, he's totally telling me.
The passing away of the ninth wonder of the world a couple weeks ago.
That was hard. That really surprised me because it's like when I started getting into wrestling, I started to really look into what was happening around the time of the 90s and earlier 2000s because I knew just how much a lot of things would have shaped up to, but even despite that, China was one of those certain wrestlers for her time that I knew prior to me really getting even into wrestling. Like she was a pretty big deal for her time, and there was a lot about her that made her very recognizable and memorable, and a lot of people really liked her, and she was well ahead of her time. She could out wrestle a lot of guys for the time, and she could go with them too. Hence why she was the multiple time Intercontinental Champion and
3 times, I believe.
something like that. And even the first woman to ever enter the Royal Rumble, and even at one point they were seriously considering giving her the WWF Championship. That was an idea that they were considering.
she was technically number one contender, and the only thing you really missed out was the fact that she was in the 1999 King of the Ring as well. So,
she was also in the King of the Ring. That's right.
Much like Fonda said, when I first got into wrestling in 2000, China was still very much there. I gravitated towards her, seeing this Amazonian type woman just in there throwing big men around. She wasn't, I would say, the most, she wasn't technically gifted in the ring, but she was definitely there for the entertainment factor. She could overcome her shortcomings in the ring and made it entertaining to watch her. It was a shame to see her go to the women's division and then only a couple months later leave the entire company. But
it was easy to tell that when they put her into the women's division, she just wasn't happy in that position. She really wanted to keep wrestling with the men because she felt like she could do a lot better there. But
I think the reason they did that, though, was the fact that it was roughly around that time that WWE became a publicly traded company, and I think they stopped doing men and women physical interactions at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that could potentially be a reason why, but it was easy to tell with China that's not what she wanted.
She would have had no fucking real competition there. She had a leader, and that was about it.
Yeah, and she never lost the title when she left the company.
Yeah, unfortunately, never really would get back in with the company. She had a very short, maybe 1 or 2 appearances for TNA at one point.
Yeah, this was years.
This was a good 10 years later.
And it didn't help that she had a lot of bad blood with the company by the way she was treated and how her relationship with Triple H had fallen apart because of Triple H. Apparently, I think as she put it, they were still together, but then Triple H started seeing Stephanie, and then they got something going, and then he pretty much left China behind. I think she put it in similar words.
I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Triple H mark and everything like that, but, that's horrible and all that, but that type of shit happens every single day of the year. So
Yeah, it's something that it's
it's definitely
common
something that
and
can hurt someone deeply and emotionally
oh
for the
yeah,
rest of their lives. I'm not trying to belittle it. I'm just saying, that's happened multiple times. In fact, I think didn't John Cena cheat on his wife at one point?
I I don't know.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
honestly,
I know he used to be married anyway, but
but
oh,
but yeah, it definitely gave her. It definitely affected her much of the rest of her living life.
well, she'd already
She
had a
never,
lot of
sh
demons anyway before she even got into
yeah,
wrestling.
yeah. She never. She would all that stuff just piled up on her. She was never able to recover from it, and people won't really want to talk about her later life because all the stuff with her getting into the porn business. But she said she enjoyed being in that sort of business. She had fun doing it. So can you really fault her for that?
Well, at the end of the day, it was their decision, and if she said she enjoyed it, fair enough. I suppose I do have a question regarding this because WWE fans have been trying for years to convince WWE to put China into the Hall of Fame, but due to issues here and there, they never did. Now, the fact that she's passed, do you think they'll let her in? Especially considering they did the exact same thing with Randy Savage.
At this point, at this point they're kind of screwed either way. Honestly, if they don't put her in, there's gonna be, of course, a lot of people pissed off. And if they do put her in, there's going to be people mad, be like, why couldn't you do this when she was alive? Because, of course, everyone's going to point back to that thing where what Triple H said on the Stone Cold podcast, that she wasn't being considered largely because they didn't want the fans to or younger kids to try to Google search her and find out what she was doing.
I mean,
Even though there had been several people who were already in the Hall of Fame who have done such business, most notably Sonny.
I will counteract that though. Sonny did the porn after she was
Yeah,
inducted. I'm not saying a lot of the Hall of Famers got up to a lot of shit before they went in. Jimmy Snooker, fucking murdered his girlfriend for Christ's sake,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
He, I'm sure because of the incident, he's probably not even really in the Hall of Fame anymore because of it.
Technically, he will be, but yeah, they'll never make any real note of him again.
He probably won't ever be seen in the company again. Anyways,
didn't he get? Didn't he actually get arrested and sent to jail?
well, I think Snuka has been. I think Snuka's been put behind bars. I can't. I can't remember.
Yeah, they tried to go with the whole "he's an old man" thing. You know what? Fuck you. You murdered someone. You should be going to fucking prison.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, he was arrested. He
2 years ago?
But he arrested September 1st, 2015.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago then.
And apparently, I don't know. Apparently, he was pleaded not guilty somehow.
Oh, I don't know.
Which the only way I think he could be is probably, I guess, insufficient. Either
Insufficient evidence, yeah.
Or just there's just too many things that match up. And the thing is, he's very out of it. Like he is.
But you know what? We've gone a little bit off topic here. We were talking about China. Because we're a bit lacking on time today. Obviously the woman is going to be deeply missed, I'm sure, by a lot of people who were fans of hers growing up, myself included there. Off the top of your head, favorite China match or moment?
Oh boy, there's a lot of things.
Because I can think of mine off the top of my head. A match with Chris Jericho at Survivor Series '99.
That was probably have to be the same thing.
Yeah, she pedigreed that. She pedigreed him right off the top rope. It was fucking fantastic.
Yep. But yeah, favorite moment. Okay, let me try that again. Favorite moment was probably when she entered the Royal Rumble, because that was such a huge deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. She did it twice. She did it in 2000, 99 and then 2000. One of the three women to actually do it would be done by Beth Phoenix and Karma as well.
2010. Beth Phoenix is 2010, and then Karma
Yep,
like 2000.
2013, I think.
No, I don't think it was 2013. I think it was like 2000, either 2011 or 2012. I can't remember
Maybe. It actually might
which
have
of
been.
the
It might have been the
shows.
one with where there was 40 entrants, because there was a lot of entrants there. So that would have been 2011 when Del Boring won it.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, that is the news over with. Once again, China, you will be missed. Hopefully, you'll
Yes.
finally get that Hall of Fame induction that you do deserve. But we
Yes.
have work to do. It's time for the Payback review.
The suspense that leads to something different.
Alright, again, I didn't watch any Raws or anything leading off. I am
No,
strictly a pay-per-view guy at this point in my wrestling viewership career.
he can't stomach watching the current Raw
I can
product. So
stomach the pay-per-views, and I actually quite enjoy it when it's just a once or twice a month deal, so having to go back and watching Raw and SmackDown and all that other crap, yeah, I'd rather just stick to
yeah.
the pay-per-view, thank you very much. Now, you told me you watched this with a bunch of friends, correct?
Yeah,
Did you
it
watch the
was.
pre-show?
No, I didn't see the
I
pre-show.
did.
All I know is that. Oh, you did.
I watched the pre-show. I've got plenty of notes.
Well, that helps because I was kind of falling. I was like, let me try that again. There's a couple stuff I was working on around that time when the pre-show was happening, so I wasn't able to get a chance to watch it. I do
It's not
know
a
what
problem.
happened though.
But I'll go through the notes I've got here. The only thing I want to make sure before we start is you have gotten your overall rating, your match of the night superstar moment, and your free trivia questions, correct?
Yep.
That's all I need from you for these episodes, buddy. All right.
I remind myself to do that stuff. So
Well, don't rely on me because my memory is just fucking atrocious. Okay, the pre-show opens. I will point out I only caught a couple of segments here. I was mainly watching the pre-show for the matches. But match number 1, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Welcome to the pre-show, Corbin. Hope you're going to enjoy it because you're probably going to be stuck here for a while.
yeah, it's kind of strange. It's like always give someone a push to get to earn
Yeah.
something, then immediately demote them. Makes
To be
perfect logic. They
fair,
do it all the goddamn time. It seems.
a lot of the matches on the actual pay-per-view, though, needed to be on the pay-per-view, so I can't really fault them for not putting this in the main show. But I'm going to go through my notes here as always, and if you need to jump in at any point, feel free. Alright, the first note I have is that Dolph came out to a massive pop, and it made me shake my head thinking, why the fuck is this guy not in the main event, or at least the main event picture? Corbin comes out, and I made a note that he finally reminds me who he reminds me of. He looks a cross between CM Punk and Severus Snape.
Well, that's an interesting combination.
All the tattoos of Punk, but he's got Snape's face, in my opinion. A grumpy bastard.
And somewhat of Snape's height, at least in look. What am I saying? I don't know.
The greasy hair and all that shit.
Yes.
Ziggler opens with a bunch of punches, but Corbin manages to overpower him. We get a "Let's Go Ziggler" chant from the crowd. Ziggler gets another comeback with a comeback with the punches, but that gets denied.
I'm concerned now.
Why?
That I was an interesting typo.
No, I just fucking I fail at talking. I thought we'd already established this.
Did you hear me earlier? I'm on the same boat.
Ziggler attempts yet another comeback, this time with his elbows. He's yet again denied. We get a half Nelson chinlock from Corbin, and this was actually the first real wrestling move of the match, and this was a good couple minutes into the match, actually. As at this point, it had just been a bunch of punches, kicks, and headbutts and shit. Ziggler gets a sleeper for a little while. He goes for a super kick, but it's blocked by Corbin. I'm just going to make my notepad file a little bit bigger here because there's actually a lot on this page. Ziggler gets the Famouser instead, which was pretty cool. Looked pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he got. I can't remember if he goes for a pin or not, but I didn't make note of it. Ziggler leaps over the steps but gets a big boot from Corbin. This was on the outside, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Corbin picks Ziggler up into a powerbomb position, but sort of just flings him over his shoulders and Ziggler goes straight into the ring post. Pretty good spot, actually. The two go back into the ring and Ziggler gets a surprise roll-up for the free count.
Yeah.
I thought it was a okay opener. Nothing special, but nothing terrible either.
Of course, I can't rate it because I didn't see it.
Yeah, nothing special. You really don't need to go out your way to see this one. The only thing I did make of note between this and the second pre-show match was there was a very quick 2-minute Sami Zayn interview where he took a couple of Twitter questions, I believe.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It didn't last long, like I say, it was less than 2 minutes. It was pretty good.
It's pretty much the same thing they did with like AJ Styles, so...
You think, though, that they have like an hour for the pre-show, that they'd actually use it for more than just fucking advertisements every couple minutes, or listening to the panel.
Yeah, you'd think they would try to at least give people a little more like match content-wise, but I think it was always the intention to try to give people an update. And I'm not talking... No, the panel thing isn't really necessary in my opinion, but I think more so it's meant to really largely like be meant as a reminder to people this is what's happening tonight if you do not remember.
But here's the thing, you can do that while still interviewing wrestlers. Do you remember, did you ever see any of the Todd Pettingale countdowns before pay-per-view started?
No, I don't remember anything like that.
Oh, never mind then. Anyway, after that, we get their second pre-show match, the United States Championship, Kalisto versus the pre-show stopper Ryback. I'll explain that in a moment. Ryback comes out mocking Punk's entrance, as he seems to love doing at the moment.
Because Chicago.
I think it's more because Ryback's just a little whinging bitch because Punk complained about him about 5 years ago, and he still won't let it go.
That and because Chicago.
Yeah. The reason I said the pre-show stopper is he's got pre-show stopper written on his pants / his belt. That's holding up his shit.
And there's the interesting thing I'm gonna get into Ryback, but I'll do that after you go through this match.
Yeah. So Ryback knocks Kalisto around to begin with. Kalisto gets a monkey flip and dives onto Ryback outside twice. 1 second, I've accidentally closed the notepad file. Very stupid of me. The second time it's a corkscrew plunger, which was actually a really nice move. I need to set this fucking thing up properly. Ryback counters a springboard move with a big vertical suplex. And then the pre-show has the goal to go to commercials during a fucking match. You pricks.
That was, I heard a few people on Twitter being like, what the hell is this, man?
Yeah, here's the thing. You've got all that fucking panel shit, and you decide to go to commercial during an actual match.
That's just...
I know, it's fucking ridiculous is what it is. Anyway, with the commercials done, when the commercials are done, there's the back in the middle of the ring. Ryback's got a sleeper on Kalisto. Kalisto is thrown into the ring post multiple times. A counter into a tornado DDT on Ryback, very nicely done. Ryback tries a suplex on the apron, but that gets reversed into a DDT on said apron. Looked pretty nasty actually as well. Mm-hmm. Springboard crossbody for a 1 count, a corkscrew for a 2 count, a powerbomb reverse into a sunset flip for a 2 count for Kalisto. Kalisto performing some very cool acrobatic dodging, kind of sort of thing you'd see like in gymnastics and stuff, doing handstands and stuff. That's very interesting actually. A Selena Del Sol reversed into Shell Shock, which is also reversed into a roll-up, and then a Spine Buster finally from Ryback onto Kalisto. Nice chain of moves there. Ryback actually goes to the top rope, but Kalisto counters with 2 enziguris.
Yep.
Ryback with a massive military press slam off the top rope as well.
Massive.
It looked painful. And it was actually a pretty cool spot as well. He then heads back up to the top of the rope. I think he goes for a frog splash, but Kalisto moves out of the way. Kalisto gets the Selena Del Sol for a 3 count.
Hooray.
Thought this was actually a really good match.
Yeah, I've actually heard pretty damn good things about the match. I think like honestly, if they just had that sort of match at WrestleMania and
Oh,
not here, I
absolutely.
think they would have helped made WrestleMania a little bit better,
Yeah,
just a little bit,
I
but
have.
still.
I have actually got here that the match was great and it did deserve to be on the main pay per view itself.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly I think this is the best Ryback match I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing you want to talk about the sudden departure of Ryback before we get
Ryback.
into the main pay per view. Anyway,
The thing with Ryback here is he has been openly expressing online that he is very frustrated with his position in the company. He's frustrated that he's being relegated to stuff like the pre-show and whatnot. Where he thinks he could do better. And one of the big frustrations he's had that he mentions is the fact that he doesn't like the idea that people aren't getting the same kind of pay.
I can understand that to an extent, but at the same time, you've got to give more money to the people that are bringing in the fans and making the most merchandise.
Yeah, like here's the like his one of his arguments is he doesn't get why people get less pay because they lose matches and
Oh, that's
where
fucking
it's
stupid.
it's basically like it's a scripted event where people are meant to lose match, where people agree to take a loss.
Look,
Basically,
that
he
sort
doesn't
of
understand why they have to get less pay for that.
look, that sort of thing is fine in boxing and in UFC and all that shit. But wrestling is predetermined. You should not be giving out different pay grades determining if someone wins or loses. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, he really thinks it should be more equal pay in terms for everyone, which I agree and disagree on. I agree for the fact that in the whole wins and losses
Oh,
thing,
absolutely, yeah.
but disagree on those who basically are a bigger money draw. Like he can argue all he wants, but there's a reason why John Cena makes the kind of money he does. He is still a huge money draw.
Well, yeah, like we just said this. I mean, like I say, the whole wins and losses thing. Take that out. That should not even be a thing in today's day and age. It's fucking stupid. But like I say, if you're someone like John Cena, who, let's face it, moves more merchandise than fucking Mickey Mouse, you can understand them giving him a bigger wage.
Yeah, it's like he says, wrestling is predetermined. We as performers know before we go out to the ring or perform a backstage scene who is winning and losing, etc., or have a general idea of we are going to say. It blows my mind how in a sport which is predetermined from a company standpoint, winners are paid so much more than the losers. Every single person who works for WWE from top to bottom is absolutely just as valuable as the next. The winners cannot win unless the losers go out there and agree to lose to them.
He's got a
Basically,
point.
another sign of kayfabe is dead.
Yeah, he's got a point there, but like I say, the wins and losses thing should definitely be taken out if that still exists. Otherwise, quit your complaining already.
Yeah, it's just besides. I think a lot of it, I believe, is also just coming from spite that
Yeah.
he's not part of the main scene, and the thing is, I just don't think he really can. He really has that main scene attraction.
He has a certain appeal, but he doesn't have main pay-per-view main event appeal.
Pretty much.
He could be, and this may not sound like a big thing, Ryback could have been the next Kane. The guy who's always teetering on main event and can be there in case there's nothing else for the champion to do. He also could be there to elevate the upcoming main eventers.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have had job security for life if he'd done that. But he seems... I think he takes himself too seriously.
Yeah.
To him, he's more interested in his overall legacy, I guess. But like I say, I do think some of this is also spite. Like I mentioned earlier with him mocking Punk's entrance, that whole incident was, 3 years ago, and he still can't let it go.
Pretty much.
It's just getting a little bit pathetic at this point.
Yeah.
But I will grant the guy this. He put on a good match with Kalisto.
He did.
I'd be ashamed to see him go, because if he was able to perform at that level every single pay-per-view, I would be a bigger fan of the guy. But
Pretty much.
oh well. But that was the end of the pre-show.
Anyways. Yep,
Um,
the thing I did not see.
yeah. Like I say, definitely go out your way to anyone watching this, and to you as well, Thunder. I would definitely go out your way and watch the Kalisto Ryback match. You can skip the Ziggler Corbin match though. There was
I'll probably watch the
there.
Kalisto Ryback match because of the positive rating on it.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so it's time for the actual main card now. And we actually open up with the New Day. What is this, Monday Night Raw?
I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, either that or it was SmackDown.
Yeah.
I can't tell anymore.
So this show opens up with the New Day. I've got WTF, what the fuck are they wearing? Is that a giant donut that Kofi's holding?
It's what they usually wear. It's the kind of nonsense.
I know. I guess it's just because I'm only watching like once a month. I only get to see them once a month. But honestly, was that a giant donut that Kofi was holding? I couldn't tell.
I can't even remember anymore. It's just, they wear something.
He wasn't wearing it. He was holding it. So yeah, we get a promo showcasing the new era. I actually thought it was a pretty good promo, actually. But match number one, Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains in the finals for the number one contendership for the Tag Team Championship. Now, obviously, there was an incident at the end of this match, but we'll go for the match first.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of surprised you actually do want to go for the match because, honestly, it just sticks out so badly, and it's really unfortunate that.
There wasn't actually a whole lot about the in-ring match I wanted to talk about. I was just going to say, like, Enzo, my first note here on Enzo was that he seemed really at home on the microphone, but I am noticing he says the exact same thing every time he comes out. He's basically, and it's not exactly a bad thing, it's basically the New Age Outlaw stick where Road Dogg will come out and start doing the whole ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages type of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It works, but I can't see him ever having a successful singles run if he just did the same thing.
It depends.
I said definitely good on the mic, but he needs more variety in what he's actually saying. Is all I'm actually saying about it. We get a Harry Ant and Hey Arnold jokes. Okay, you're about 15 years too late, but fair enough.
That was strange. I was thinking, sitting there, what?
Yeah, I understood the references because I did watch a little bit of Hey Arnold growing up, but any kids in the audience today will be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Who's Hey Arnold, mommy? And
that's the scary part of it.
Yeah.
And then years later, it's like 20 years later, these kids have all grown up, and then they have there's different references to shows from that era being made, and the kids will be like, "What's this show, mommy?" It's just a concurrent cycle of, oh god, that is a scary thought.
Like, if I'm still watching wrestling about 10, 15 years time and they start referencing like Adventure Time or Ben 10 and stuff, and I finally won't understand the references. Because I don't watch those shows. So one thing I will point out is that we went a good 10 minutes before the commentators finally started talking, so that was a nice break.
Yeah, or something like that.
Do you actually want to talk about the match, because it actually only lasted less than 5 minutes?
Well, the thing with the match...
I'm not going to grade the match anyway, but I did have a few notes.
I'm not going to grade the match. I can't.
Yeah,
it just would be very... It would be very...
Alright, so we'll skip this entire section I've got here about the actual in-ring stuff, because like we said, the match lasted less than 5 minutes. It
lasted less than 4 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't actually take note of the actual time, I just know it was less than 5. So you saying it was less than 4 then?
Yeah.
Alright. Do you want to mention what happened?
58 seconds.
Do you want to mention what happened, or shall I?
I personally don't mind mentioning it, so...
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's basically, like, a spot where Enzo is supposed to go through the ropes.
The bottom rope, by the way. He was supposed to slide under it.
Yeah, he's supposed to slide under the ropes and, try... Because he's being thrown over there, and of course he needs to go under there to keep himself from, actually, well, hitting... Just running into the ropes and hitting things. Well... he didn't. He wasn't quite able to. I guess the how I don't know if it was just how it was being thrown into it or if it was just a mistiming or such. But he basically slammed his head into the rope, which caused a whiplash effect that basically made the bottom of his head hit the ring mat, and basically he fell to the floor and was just not getting up.
He did not move a muscle the entire rest of the time he was on camera.
Yeah, and basically it got to the point where the referee gave the X symbol, which basically means there's been a serious incident.
Usually, they have used it in a kayfabe sense as well sometimes, which is a bit of a bad move in my opinion. It's
a bit
very
yeah,
tasteless.
I don't like when they do that
Yeah.
for the sense of kayfabe. That should only ever be used in a serious incident, and at least in this case, it was a serious incident. So,
One thing I will note that you left out there is that I don't know who it was, but one of the VOD villains actually went out to pick him up thinking he was just selling.
I think something like that. Yeah, I think he's probably saying, "I'm not selling this."
No, I don't think he's talked. I think he saw he was limp and let him go. There was no fucking movement from Enzo for the
Enzo
entire...
was just out.
He was out cold. To be honest, what I hated was, I'll be honest, I thought he'd broken his neck. I thought he snapped his neck.
Yeah, it like the way he was looking is like he could have potentially had broken his neck.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't.
Oh, and thank you, WWE, for showing me the same fucking thing where a man may have broken his neck about 10 fucking times.
Yeah,
I really don't want to see that. I really don't want to see a man who, for all intents and purposes, could very fucking easily have died. I don't want to see that. Fuck you, Kevin Dunn. Fuck you.
I don't need to see a slow motion of him potentially breaking his neck like several times. It's just like, no, don't do that to us.
Yeah.
If you need to show it, if you want to show it at least once or twice, okay, I suppose I can understand. But like several times, it's like, please stop.
Yeah. Fuck WWE sometimes, seriously. But yeah, thankfully we do. Sorry?
Because I'm just glad that wasn't what they were showing as him having broken his neck. Because
here's the thing, though, it very easily could have been. Thankfully, we do learn later on that he suffered, what was it, a minor concussion?
Yeah, all that he suffered was a concussion. By the time he got to the hospital, he was able to start moving again, and he was talking, and he was released from hospital not too long after he was sent in. He suffered all he basically suffered was a concussion, which still sucks for the guy.
Absolutely.
But it could have been, but at the same time, it could have been a lot worse. Like you said, it could have broken his neck.
Yeah, there was I believe there was footage of him. He actually made it back to the arena before the pay-per-view ended, and he was backstage for like the last match or two or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Thankfully, like we said, he was fine. He hasn't come back on TV yet. I'm not expecting him back for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're probably gonna play it safe with him, and then
make sure there's no.
Once they know that they're ready to put him back on TV, he'll be back on.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, like I say,
I have heard. I don't. Of course, I can't say if it's true or not, and I'm not going to say it is. There were rumors that the Vaudevillains were supposed to win the match anyways.
Yeah, apparently the Dudley Boys were going to get in and interfere by attacking Enzo and Cass.
They're probably going to start. They're probably going to start like a Dudley Boys versus Enzo and Cass feud, because of course how they were building that up, but because of the concussion that Enzo suffered, that's been back traced for a little bit.
Yeah, it's I think it was definitely the right call. I know we just said that the Vaudevillains would plan to win the match anyway, but I'm glad that they stopped the match.
Yeah, because I'm very glad that they stopped the match. That would have been a terrible thing to try to keep it going if he was in that kind of condition. I mean, back in the day, they probably would have been like, "Oh, you can continue the match." These days, it's like do not continue
that type of match.
these days, now that they're well aware of just how severe these kind of things are, like how badly it can affect someone's health, they know very smart enough now that if this happens to you, we're not letting you continue this match for the sake of your own health and your life.
It's not worth it at the end of the day.
No, it's not.
People are a lot more, the fans are a lot more savvy about this stuff. They know how much people risk by getting into that ring and stuff. We don't need you to kill yourselves.
Yeah, we want to be able to see the best that you can do, but please don't kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
don't want that.
There's a reason people were chanting, "Please don't jump to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania."
Yeah.
We know
that's a 46-year-old guy jumping 20 feet into a table where if it didn't have the air mattressing, he probably would have died.
Yeah, like I said, we don't need to see that stuff anymore. We appreciate it if you do, but do not feel the need to impress us that much.
I think the thing with Shane was like he knows that people would probably have been expecting him to do something like that because he's so well known for doing such ridiculously crazy, dangerous high spots, and probably Shane was telling himself, "I can probably still do this."
Fair enough. But it's like I said though. Thankfully, they did stop the match. And, I don't feel right really adding this. Plus, it didn't actually waste that much time. It lost maybe, 10 minutes of the pay-per-view in total?
Maybe. It's still left a very dry, like, very sad spell on the rest of the show. Like, of course, the fact that they were giving good updates did improve it, but...
I will mention one thing though before we move on. I found it so fucking weird. Enzo's laid outside, flopped on the fucking ground like a salmon out of a stream, and the New Day are over in the corner eating junk food.
Well, the thing... No, here's the thing. The New Day were basically watching the match at
I know. I just found it so weird.
But here's the thing, like... If you paid attention to cameras, even the New Day, they were very concerned.
Oh yeah, it's just.
I guess they were like, we gotta at least keep someone in character.
Yeah, it's just weird, Enzo's laying on the ground. Cass is there, worried about him. They don't show the vaudevillian, so I'm sure they're pretty worried. But all I can see over in the corner is Big E holding the fucking box of booty elves. Just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we need to really say about that. Unless you had anything else you wanted to say.
I don't. I think we've covered everything.
All right. Well,
we ramble a lot. We tend to ramble a lot as it is. So.
Yeah. Match number 2: Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Tell me, did this help pitch a tent for you?
I'm sorry.
Did this help you pitch a tent?
Pitch a tent.
Pitch a tent.
I mean, it did get there.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think it would have been had it not been for what happened earlier, but...
So they got semi-erect then. Okay then, I understand.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Semi.
Yeah,
during the live sex celebration.
I'll run through my notes and obviously just jump in with any you have. Alright, we get a very, very cool promo package showcasing the long history these two men have over the years. I thought it was fantastic.
I kind of like that's the direction they're taking with the feud, because it's like, you get so used to seeing there's just something that happened, therefore I'm feuding with you. No, it's like, there's like a huge backtrace of this is why I wanted to be here, and this guy is trying to basically say like, this guy would never be here if it wasn't for me. And he doesn't respect the fact that I did all this stuff for him in his life. All he wants to prove is that he's better than me, and out of just pure jealousy that I can actually put up a fight with him.
Yeah, it really did a good job, like, emphasizing the whole friends turned enemies thing. It's something you don't actually see a whole lot much these days. You see it a lot back in the 90s, but it was definitely a well put together promo. I am still loving Sami Zayn's music, by the way, and the crowd loved it as well.
Zayn's music's fantastic. I just fucking
love that so music. Upbeat. It's just so fucking cool. I just love it.
I will say though, the thing with Zayn, though, I fucking love Zayn. I really hope he does venture with his character.
Do you think he'll be the next Daniel Bryan?
Honestly, I think he needs a little more character development
I just
before
I
he can
just mean
become the
over
next
I
Brian.
just mean like overall he'll become like the underdog smaller guy that the fans will take to and sort of like
Yeah,
demanding high spots on the card.
yeah, something. I could see it happening, but honestly,
Yeah, like I said, honestly I think we talked about this back when we did I think it was either Roadblock or Fastlane, but I did not take to Sammy in my first thingy with him with Stardust. I thought that match was quite poor, but every other time since then.
then the Nakamura match.
Oh yeah, that turned me around and made me do a complete 180. I fucking love Sami Zayn now.
Yeah, like I really like Zayn. But like I said, I do hope he gets more of a bit of a character
Yeah,
development because he does seem to have that kind of wanted to make it big thing like that a lot of people from NXT seem to often have.
yeah, definitely.
Which, so I think he just needs to find more of his own thing. But once he does, he'll probably be even more popular. I could easily see it happening.
Yeah, he's I just think the sky's the limit right now for
Anyways,
Zayn,
the
but
match.
yeah, these two start off brawling each other right off the bat. It's nice to see a blood feud actually start this way instead of actually trying to be all technical. Uh,
Yeah.
Owens sent to the outside. Zayn with a fantastic senton outside onto Owens. Owens thrown into the barricade twice. This is a very hard hitting, fast paced action opening to the match. Fantastic. Hurricane Run onto Owens. Zayn brought outside by Owens, and then he's thrown into the steps. Owens throws Zayn into the steps, which are just sort of in the middle of the fucking outside between the ring and the fence. I'm surprised he took the bump that well. But sorry, I'm stumbling over my. I'm stumbling. Put your girlfriend away. I'm talking.
Yeah, the one I wish I had.
The two go back into the ring, and Owens pins him for a 2 count. Owens takes complete control of the match for a little while and applies a chin lock. Zayn bounces off the rope.
Hang on a minute.
Alright. So, we're going to take a short break here. I'm not even sure if I remember to edit this out, but hopefully I do. If you're interested in listening to our voices more, go check out Fonda's channel at HG Central, my own channel at CaptainTurbo, or our combined channel at the Let's Play Alliance. And he's still not back yet. And we're back.
Things happened.
Yes, things happen. Life happens, get over it. We're not getting paid for this, so fuck it, you're getting low quality.
What was the case? I don't know.
So where was I in my notes here? Oh yeah, Owens is in control of the match with a chin lock. Zayn bounces off the rope with a running senton from Owens for a 2 count.
Yep.
We get some back and forth from both men, and the chanting changes with the momentum. Oh, sorry. Back and forth from both men, constantly changing momentum. Sorry.
So it's okay. You're getting it slowly.
I'm getting there. Zayn gets 20.
Eventually.
Zayn gets the 20 punches on Owens in the corner. The crowd can't count for shit though. We then get what Michael Cole calls a blue thunder bomb. Wasn't a real thunder bomb though.
That bothered the crap out of me. It's like, you've been an announcer for how long now?
Coming up to 20 years.
That's like, come on. You should at least get. If you've been an announcer for like this long, you'd think you'd at least be a little more familiar with all the moves that these guys do.
Yeah, probably. To be fair, the ending of it, the move did look like a blue thunder bomb, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
But we do get a actual blue thunder bomb after that for a 2 count.
Yay! Fuck.
And speaking of fuck, Sami Zayn actually does swear, but he's muted out because I thought my computer fucked up. But no, the light.
There was a. Funny thing is, I was watching a thing not too long ago, and there's a point during the WrestleMania match for Reigns and Triple H where Reigns swears he's saying, "Oh fuck," and they mistime it terribly. You easily hear him say it, then they mute. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's the point? He already just said it.
it is pretty fucking stupid, but yeah, they do mute the audio for about 3 or 4 seconds. But once the audio comes back, there's a "This is awesome" chant starting out.
Yeah.
Owens with a nice shoulder breaker. Owens with a beautiful frog splash, by the way, for a 2 count. Up there with Eddie Guerrero's and Raw Van Dam, I'll give him that much.
Yeah, he knows what to do. Okay.
For a big guy, he does a fantastic frog splash.
Yes.
He gets a lot of height on it for him. Owens with 2 cannonballs to Zayn. A pop-up powerbomb is countered by a dropkick. Probably a little bit more in that, but that's all I've put down. A tornado DDT reversed into a backbreaker was a fantastic piece of technical prowess from Owens there.
I was like, you're about to say piece of art. I mean, you're not too far off.
Well, it's sort of art. Owens goes for a powerbomb on the apron. It's reversed into a back body drop, and it sounded fucking painful when he landed.
Oh, that was a big impact.
Yeah, as I think JBL said, that's where the metal underneath that holds the entire ring up is. And you know what? From the sound of it, I could believe that.
Yeah.
Zayn hits that running DDT through the ring post. We get another "This is awesome" chant. I actually do love that move. I think it's fantastic. Owens counters some kind of running attack with a super kick. He throws a groggy Zayn into the ropes and then hits the pop-up powerbomb for the 3 count.
Something like that, yeah.
I thought this was a great match, but I do think it should have been given an extra 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll ask for your opinion overall of the match in a moment, but after the match, Owens cuts a good promo, basically giving Byron Saxton a lot of crap, and stating his intentions to get back his Intercontinental Championship. But what was your overall opinion on the match, Thunder?
Match was pretty damn excellent.
Yeah, I really couldn't complain either. I thought it was great. As I said, I do think it should have lasted a bit longer, though. Like I said, here's the thing. You had the whole tag team match earlier. Obviously, end a little bit earlier because of the injury. There's no reason you couldn't have given the matches a bit longer.
I was still kind of down on that at that time. I mean, the match definitely was great, and looking back at it, it was a damn fine match. It's just at the time of first watching it, I think everyone was just so in my group. They were just so largely bothered by what happened with Enzo that it was hard to really get really into it.
Here's the thing: I didn't watch the pay-per-view live. I watched it the next morning, so I didn't have that same problem. Yeah. I didn't know the results,
live, so it was a different story.
Yeah, I didn't actually see the results or anything, so I did go into this blind. But I think watching it when it wasn't live, it kind of lessened the blow of the whole Enzo problem. But yeah, it's kind of
that's definitely the case. If you don't watch it live, it's definitely not as hard.
It's kind of this is gonna make me sound so fucking evil and stuff, but it's like even despite what Chris Benoit did, I can still go back and enjoy a lot of his matches.
Same here. When I watch him in the ring, I don't think about what he did at the end of his life. I think about what he was at the time of that match.
Or even just I can see him as an on-screen character even.
Yeah.
But yeah, great match. Match number 3, the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz with his wife Maryse versus Cesaro. We'll point out that Owens did join the commentary table for commentary here, and Owens
was basically so he was raging in his own enjoyment that I beat Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, we'll say this off the bat: Owens with JBL's hat, no thank you. It looks so fucking terrible on him.
It looks dumb on him, but hey, I probably think it works better than JBL wearing the hat, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't really mention any actual quotes about what he says, but I will say for the entire match, Owens was fantastic on commentary. He made it fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I also like how he's just giving the arguably the worst of the commentators, Byron Saxton, the low end treatment.
definitely.
Because
But
I don't know what WWE sees in Saxton, and he's on both shows.
here's the thing: if they make fun of him that much because they don't like him, why'd you keep him around?
Yeah, there obviously has to be a reason he's
Yeah,
kept around. I don't know what it is,
I
but
don't know. Maybe he did the same as Virgil and just whipped out his dick in front of Pat Patterson.
uh, I mean, maybe.
Well, that's how he got a job anyway.
Hmm.
But Cesaro coming out in the whole party boy outfit where he just pulls at his fucking pants to get them off. Be honest, I don't particularly like them, but whatever. Before the match even starts, we get a Cesaro chant where the crowd going, Cesaro! Cesaro!
Please love this man. I don't know.
I like Cesaro enough, but we get some nice.
Cesaro is amazing. I fucking love Cesaro.
We get a tie up to begin. Cesaro on the ground does a couple of leap up spots. Shawn Michaels ass, but doesn't actually do it properly. He does it halfway and then falls back down on purpose. Not that he couldn't actually do the leap up. Actually, a pretty nice way to start. It made him look very athletic. We get a nice backbreaker on the Miz. All three guys on commentary are giving Saxon crap, by the way. Cole, JBL, and Owens. Even Cole, the face, is giving Saxton shit. Should say a lot. The Miz takes control of the match, working on Cesaro's injured shoulder, which was taped up with some kind of thing. I can't remember what they called it. Can you remember what they called that tape, by the way?
I'm sorry?
That tape that Cesaro had for his shoulder.
The tape that Cesaro had for his shoulder. He had an injury there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the actual term for the tape that he was using. It was basically to help give some support to his shoulder, but never mind. Not a big deal.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of thinking like, why are you talking about what they call the tape?
I don't know. I don't like it when I can't remember.
To do?
When I can't remember the word for something, it pisses me off. But never mind. Anyway, we get a neck breaker by the Miz, a sunset flip by Cesaro for a 2 count, and then Miz with a sleeper hold, and we get an actual pretty funny comment from Owens about the sleeper putting everyone else asleep.
Yeah.
Cesaro turns the sleeper into a fantastic vertical suplex. Plenty of uppercuts from Cesaro. I counted about 10 in total. It was a bit too much, but yeah, the crowd seemed to love it.
Like that.
Always starts rooting for the Miz, even calling him Mike.
I don't know why you'd want to root for the Miz, honestly, but he is playing to his character. So.
Yeah, obviously the Miz he probably feels is an easier opponent than Cesaro.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the case. Like Owens wants his rematch, so it's like he wants the Miz to retain so he can face someone who's a lot easier, basically.
Yeah, makes sense. He's the heel after all.
Yeah, he wants to beat the easy guy to him.
Yeah, vertical suplex from the second rope, over the rope, into the ring. Pretty nice move.
You got this.
Spinning corkscrew uppercut. Goes for a giant swing, but is blocked. Another big uppercut for a 2 count. We get some fast-paced back and forth from both men. Miz hits the skull-crushing finale for a 2 count. Actually got a big pop from the crowd when he kicks out. Of course. It's not very often you see the mid-carders kick out of each other's finishes. It's only something you see for the main events.
Cesaro is a bit of a stronger man, so I can see why he did. It made sense.
And while that happens in the ring, Sami Zayn appears out of fucking nowhere like Houdini, and attacks Owens at the announce table. The two brawl into the timekeeper's area. While that's happening outside, Cesaro gets the giant swing on the Miz inside, and once again the crowd fail at counting. After the giant swing's over, Cesaro locks in the crossface on the Miz. While that's happening, Zayn and Owens get themselves onto the rope, not actually in the ring, but just on the apron. Miz taps out, but the ref is distracted by Owens and Zayn. Cesaro very pissed off at this point, knocks both Owens and Zayn off the apron. But while he does that, Miz sneaks up behind him and gets a roll-up pin for a 3 count.
That's the thing that really bothered me with the match. Like, out of all the kind of finishes you could have, like a roll-up pin, really?
It made sense. Here's the thing. I think Miz getting the chicken shit victory here was the only thing that was going to work. If you're going to keep the title on him, I don't think knocking Cesaro out with the skull-crushing finale would have really worked. The crowd would not have liked it. Plus, it also makes, Cesaro didn't really lose by being overpowered by Miz, so he's still technically on the IC title picture, and it did bring up the whole thing on Raw the next night where Cesaro says he technically won the match almost, so...
Something like that.
Yeah, so after the match, Cesaro brings Miz back into the ring and hits him with the neutralizer.
Yep.
I believe Owens hits Cesaro with a super kick and then a pop-up powerbomb onto Zayn, and then Owens poses with the IC title.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I thought this was a pretty good match considering The Miz was in it.
Yeah, I mean, The Miz did do okay.
He did his job at the end of the day. He did his job. Cesaro, I think, made the match really fun.
Cesaro is definitely something when it comes to his ring work.
Owens was, I thought, hilarious on commentary.
Owens was great. Like, I think he should be if he ever were to stop wrestling, he should become a commentator without question.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think this was, in my opinion, a great Raw match that turned into a decent, if not good, pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can really put it. So, yeah, actually, I just realized you're not grading the matches tonight, are you?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, the more I think about it, I think it's just best to grade the overall thing.
Yeah,
like
fair
you
enough.
do, because I'm trying to remember a grade for each match. It's not the easiest thing to do.
That's fine. Like I said, I never said you had to do that.
Giving an overall grade, now that's a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. Alright, I didn't really pay any attention. There was probably some advertisements, obviously, between matches, but I'm going straight into match number 4, Y2J versus Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Y2J, or hang on, let me fix that. Y2J versus our fan favorite of the podcast most of the time so far, Dean Ambrose.
Yes. And by the way, before we begin, rest in peace, Mitch. Rest in peace.
Fucking Mitch had such a short life. Why did he have to leave us?
That poor potted plant. Oh well.
Fucking Mitch, man, he deserved better.
Alright, we get a very stalling start with Y2J not ready to get into the ring, hiding behind the ropes and stuff. But we do get a dual chant to start out with half the crowd in Chris Jericho's favourite half in Dean Ambrose's. Ambrose starts off with a flurry of punches and kicks to Jericho. Jericho slides under the ropes to take a break outside to, I guess, get his bearings back. Ambrose goes outside and they do the whole chase around the ring spot. Back in the ring, Ambrose gets sent outside. Y2J with a baseball slide. We get a Y2 Jackass Y2J chant from the crowd. Ambrose does his I get flung into the ropes, but I'm going to swing around and clothesline your spot. Always fun. We get the first Dirty Deeds attempt, but that's countered. We get the turnbuckle drop kick to Ambrose, vintage Jericho. Stealing a bit of Michael Cole there.
Yeah.
Y2J takes control of the match, and he mocks the whole Let's Go Ambrose chant to the crowd. Always nice to see him playing up the heel role there.
Always nice.
Ambrose coming back again with punch kicks and headbutts. Gets a tornado DDT onto Y2J. And if you're wondering why I keep saying Y2J instead of Chris Jericho, it's because that's how I write it, because it's a lot fucking easier to write Y2J than it is Jericho every time.
You only have to put like 3 goddamn letters.
Yeah.
Jericho.
If I can take any shortcuts, I'm going to take the fucking shortcuts.
He's going to do it the easy way.
Yeah. We get a hex handle from the top rope from Chris Jericho. Ambrose seems to get control back of the match. Hits a bulldog to Y2J. We get a top rope elbow drop countered into a walls of Jericho. Ambrose does manage to reach the ropes. Ambrose sends Y2J outside. He dives for the middle ropes. His the suicide dive thing into Y2J, who goes flying backwards into the announce table.
Yep.
He then takes the German announce table apart, but don't actually go through it.
which was kind of like, oh, I want to see a table go kaboom.
You will, but just not in this match. Ambrose gets Y2J onto said table and tries to lock in Dirty Deeds again, but is denied. Y2J gets him by the legs and slingshots Steen off the table over into the Timekeeper's area. That place has seen a lot of action tonight. We get back inside the ring. A codebreaker is reversed. Dean hits a big clothesline for a 2 count. Springboard dropkick denied with a rope. With a stunner with the ropes. That's the only way I can describe what I'm saying. Another top rope elbow, this time actually hitting Jericho for a 2 count.
Yes.
Once again, another attempt at Dirty Deeds countered into the walls of Jericho. I do note here that Jericho has a nasty cut on his face near his eye.
Yeah, it was a pretty noticeable cut.
Yeah. I'm guessing it wasn't actually on his eye, and he wasn't exactly pissing blood like Samoa Joe was, so...
Definitely not.
Yeah, so there was no referee interference to get it cleaned up, thankfully. It might have been just the fact that they were close to the end of the match, so they figured, you know what, we've got a couple minutes left, just go ahead.
Pretty much.
We get a nice enziguri for a 2 count from Y2J. Another nice neck breaker from Chris Jericho as well. The Lion Salt is blocked with Ambrose's knees. Ambrose locks in his arms for the Dirty Deeds while he's still technically laid on the floor and sort of just powers Y2J up and starts hitting him with knees while he's still got his arms locked around him. And he hits that Dirty Deeds finally and gets the 3 count. Holy fuck, Dean Ambrose gets a win on pay-per-view.
Oh my god, he finally won on a pay-per-view. Holy crap, we can celebrate.
When's the last time this happened?
I don't remember.
Has it even happened since the Shield broke up?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I thought this was a pretty good match. Not the best I've seen from either of these guys, but I thought it was a good match. Any feelings or thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a pretty good match.
Fair enough.
They did a pretty good job. I can't complain. The match was good. The match was very good.
I think he should have brought out another pot of plant though and just hit Jericho with it or something.
Possibly.
Yeah. This is in vengeance of Mitch, you bastard.
You fucking fuck.
Anyway, after the match, we get a short AJ Styles interview backstage. Mentions the Bullet Club and the possibility of them interfering. I thought it was okay and to the point. It lasted, like I said, about a minute or two max. So, but the next match is the Women's Championship match: Charlotte with Ric Flair versus Natalya with Bret Hart.
With Bret Hart.
The excellence of execution.
But here's the difference. Here you have a woman being accompanied by one of the most successful workers of all time. And then on the other side you have one of the most successful workers of all time's daughter.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I have nothing against Charlotte. I think Charlotte's a fantastic worker, but I really wish for once they just make her own thing. Because honestly, this whole storyline with Flair, with her father Rick, is really pushing Charlotte down.
Here's the thing, from the sound of it, with what's going to happen next month, because Ric Flair's not allowed in that match, I think she'll drop the title, and I think they'll drop the whole Ric Flair company or her thing, and we will actually get to see how she's going to do on her own.
I certainly hope so, because Charlotte deserves.
I love Charlotte. I think she's fantastic, but yeah,
Charlotte's a phenomenal worker. Like her, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, the 3 of them. I really love them, all 3 of them. They're fantastic workers.
Bailey.
And Bailey.
The 4 horsewomen.
Not on the main roster
I know,
yet.
but they're the 4 horsewomen, so...
I was mentioning the main roster. Don't worry, I'm never going to forget about how amazing Bailey is. In fact, not even going to forget how amazing Asuka is, for that matter.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't even got into the match yet, and we're already going off on a tangent.
We go off the.
We do this a lot.
Often. It just happens. We can't help it anymore.
So I was just going to say, by the way, this is my first time actually seeing an entrance with the new Women's Championship. Holy fuck, it looks so much better than that butterfly piece of shit.
Oh, it's so much better to look at. Some people don't like it because of the choice of colors, and I'm thinking, what's the matter? It looks fine.
Here's the thing: it is very similar to it's almost identical to the men's championship, but you do want at least one difference, and if even that's just a strap color, that's fine.
And I know why they made it look so similar. They wanted it to be like make it feel equal. Like,
exactly.
like
That's a good thing.
Feel like make the women feel like they're fighting for the same thing. Just paint. I mean, yeah, it's colored a little differently, but still, I still don't get why why there's some people who have an issue with it. I don't know why. Why is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is the best looking. I think the previous women's championship belt looked a little bit more prestigious, but considering how the WWE is nowadays and with it looking a bit more toyish, I actually think it's a really nice looking belt.
Yeah, I think the same thing. It looks great.
Yeah.
And when they announced that there was going to be a new women's championship, the pop was there. People were happy to see that the damn Divas championship was finally going away.
To be fair, that could have just been like the initial pop of a new championship and all that, but like I said, I did enjoy it. I thought it was fantastic, and I'm so happy to have a women's championship belt that doesn't look like a fucking toy that you get out of a Happy Meal or something.
I know.
Anyway, the match starts. We get some showboating from Charlotte, showing off. Natty has none of this and just grabs her by the legs and goes for the sharpshooter early on. Charlotte does manage to get out of it, though. Both women showing off very early on with flips and handstands and all that shit. Natty goes for the sharpshooter again after this, but once again denied. And finally, the match actually truly starts now. A neck breaker for a 2 count from Charlotte. And Charlotte takes very early control of the match and starts playing very well to the crowd. I love her heel work. She does fantastic as a heel.
Yeah, she does.
It'll be interesting to see, should she ever go face, how she manages to cope with that. She does seems to have that whole arrogant, egotistic character that her father has. Not to the same extent. She's not quite there on the same level as Rick, but
it's just crazy to see how much she was able to pick up, having only mostly gotten in the business after what happened to her brother Reed.
Yeah, here's not the other thing. Reed aside, go look at fucking David Flair. He didn't have any of his father's charisma or in-ring ability.
No, they poised him to be it, but David just never proved himself.
I don't think he didn't. It's the fact he didn't want to do it. He just didn't have the ability to do it.
Yeah, possibly.
But Charlotte is such a fucking 180 from her brother David. She's so good.
She's fucking great.
Where was I anyway? Charlotte gets some of the chops and the woos. Begin every time in WWE you get chops, you're going to get the Ric Flair woos. It's just going to happen forever at this point.
Yeah, no matter who it is, you're going to get it. Well, I want to say everyone, but there may be one exception.
Fair enough. Natty with a nice German suplex for a 2 count. We actually get a suplex city chant from that one suplex.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, this is a copyright infringement.
Tell me about it. Brock Lesnar versus Natalya. Book it.
And before Natalya wins somehow.
Yeah. Charlotte in control of the match. Doing a good job softening up the leg for the figure 8 later on. She then proceeds to taunt Brett with a, "Hey Brett, you want to learn something?" And does another leg move on Natalya. We get a single leg Boston Crab reverse into an armbar from Natalya.
The fact that you still managed to remember all these things, I mean, that's why I gave you the power to deal with the notes, because you would remember so much more than I would.
I take notes while I'm watching, so
yeah.
It's fine.
You're better recognizing some of the moves than I would, anyways.
I think I'm right on some of these moves anyway. I could be completely wrong at the end of the day. I'm just going off what I've learned over the years. Again, it could be incorrect. But Charlotte goes back to attacking Natalya's legs. Charlotte goes to the top rope, but she gets pushed outside by Natty. It looks slightly... then we have a slightly botched head scissors Hurricane Rana. I think that Charlotte was supposed to be sent into the steel steps, but she didn't reach them.
No. I mean,
I could be wrong, but I mean, it kind of looked kind of botched to me.
yeah.
Uh, Natty goes for the discus clothesline, but Charlotte hits with a big boot to the face. Actually, looked quite fucking painful. We then go on a little bit, and then we get an actual discus clothesline from Natty for a 2 count. Is that meant to be Natalia's finisher?
I'm sorry?
Is the discus clothesline supposed to be Natty's finisher?
No, not really.
Wait, well, then never mind.
Usually the sharpshooter is what Natalia's finisher is.
I know it was the sharpshooter, but I thought maybe this was like her non-submission finisher. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. She gets a 2 count from it anyway. Mm-hmm. Natty goes for the sharpshooter again, but is denied. And Charlotte then gets a flurry of moves with a backbreaker and then gets the natural selection, only for a 2 count though.
Only for a 2 count.
I don't think I've seen that work where she only needs to use it once so far since I've started watching her. Maybe it has, but I haven't seen it. And if it did, I don't remember it. Then we get a absolutely beautiful moonsault from Charlotte for a 2 count.
It was great. It was just genius.
Fucking amazing. I will say this: she has
If Natalia had debuted several years after she did, she would have fit. She would have been in at the perfect time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I kind of wish she debuted only a couple months ago and not like 2008, 9 or whatever, because
unfortunately she came around during the Divas era.
Yeah, she was so ahead of her time. I mean, technically, I guess you could say.
Yeah, technically, definitely.
She was so much better than everyone else, and now she's finally in that division where she can actually show off just how good she is.
I think the problem is there are so many good women's wrestlers right now, though, that Natalia's kind of getting pushed to the back. You've got the crowd begging for Bayley and Sasha Banks.
I mean, we want Sasha chants during this match.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Natty came in too early. The only 2 female wrestlers around that time, towards the end of the Divas era, that were even close were Paige and AJ Lee, but they never really did anything with them and Natty. Who did you have during the Divas era who was actually somewhat decent? You had Melina, I guess. Beth Phoenix was okay.
Okay.
Beth Phoenix was pretty good, but
Beth Phoenix was alright.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix was actually pretty good.
Anyways.
But yeah, you sadly, like you said, she came in during the wrong time period, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, the beautiful moonsault for the 2 count from Charlotte. We get the figure 4/8. I couldn't really tell if she actually managed to get the figure 8 on. It didn't look like she managed to bridge her back. But Natty reverses it, but Charlotte manages to get to the rope. Then Charlotte actually locks in the sharpshooter, and we get the Montreal Screwjob ending for the match.
Chicago Screwjob. Fucking why? It's 2016, nearly 20 years after the original Montreal Screwjob.
I know.
Do we really need to see this again? Please stop.
I was pissed off. I've got here a very good match, but the ending hurt it pretty badly.
The ending, the booking decision for that was horrendous.
Here's the thing: if you don't want to give Natty the title, why not just have Rick interfere in the match and get her disqualified?
And yeah, I mean, maybe the reason they didn't do that is because people have seen it enough times and would probably be like, not again.
It's kind of better than having another fucking screw job. It's after the match, we get a
fucking hell.
uncle and niece sharpshooter on Rick and Charlotte. Brett,
I'm sorry, I'm just so fucking pissed off at that.
I know, it's so fucking stupid.
It's 2016.
Apparently,
fucking break.
Didn't they try and explain it somewhat on the next night with the whole little Nate thing?
Yeah, it's like Charles Robinson was like someone who had good relations with Flair and was basically like little Nate.
But at the same time, though, yeah, after the match, Brett and Natty lock sharpshooters on Ric Flair and Charlotte. Brett struggles to get Rick in the sharpshooter. You know, Brett's obviously just come off, what was it, colon cancer, I believe?
Colon cancer.
Thankfully, he has gotten over it. He has won against... Cancer. Oh, was it prostate cancer? Oh.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he has won the battle against cancer, but he's still feeling the effects, and he really struggled to get that sharpshooter locked in.
It's hard for Hart to really be able to do stuff like that
Yeah,
to the sharpshooter, especially because the concussion in '99 and then the stroke in 2002.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, good match, really good match actually. But it was hurt by the ending. I thought Natty sold her leg really well the entire match, and as I said here, Charlotte's moonsault, in my opinion, is the best
I just
moonsault since Kurt Angle's.
yes. I just don't mean to be so mad at this, but
I
fuck
don't
the
blame you.
fucking ending. Ugh, I could go on for a huge tangent to why I'm so sick of seeing this.
Before we move on to the next part, how many times have they done the fucking screw job? They did it obviously at 97, but that was the legit
They
one, let's call it. They did it the
yeah
next year at fucking Survivor Series where they screwed Mankind out of the title.
yeah.
They did it at Payback, which is what we've just been talking about. I can think of another time they did it. I just can't remember when.
I know another time there was
Yeah,
it was CM Punk versus Undertaker Breaking Point 2009 in Montreal.
correct.
Basically Montreal Screwjob 2.
Correct. That's four, but that was not the one I was talking about. There's another one I'm thinking of that I can't remember.
There is definitely another one. I know there was ones that was supposed to happen at Money in the Bank 2011, Punk and Cena, but Cena stopped that before it could happen.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that one. I can't remember, but
I
I'm
know.
pretty sure there's at least 5 times they've done that. You
It's
don't
just
need
like,
to keep doing it. It's been 20 years. Just fucking come up with something original already.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't blame you at all for being angry about that.
It's just, I just, I'm so tired of seeing this goddamn stupid finish. It's like, leave it alone.
Oh, and by the way, talking about aggravation, my next note here was it feels about 20 times I've seen this Camp WWE commercial.
Yeah, they were really pushing it. It's like,
To be fair, I've actually heard it's quite funny. It's just I've no interest in watching it.
I do not mean to be so fucking livid right now. I
Mm.
know I'm pushing this a bit. I know I'm pushing this a bit too much, but it's like,
Well, this is just as genuine hatred you're hearing from us right now, guys. Fuck! It was just fucking annoying as hell.
it's like, oh my god. I knew WCW did the screw job once.
Yeah, they did. They
Starrcade '97.
Yeah, it's kind of not the same. They didn't exactly ring the bell. It was Hulk Hogan won the match, but Bret Hart decided.
I
Oh no,
think they
I'm
also
thinking of
did
the
it
wrong.
again.
I'm thinking of the wrong pay per view. Sorry.
Sorry. I think they did it again in Starrcade '99.
I was gonna say I'm thinking Starrcade '99, not '97. Wow, what was
Yeah.
'97?
Sting versus Hollywood Hogan.
Oh no, that is the one I'm
Basi-
thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah, the '99 one was Goldberg versus Hart. Where
yeah.
basically Hart got concussioned.
Oh yeah, I actually used to have that on VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a fun one to watch. I've never been a Goldberg fan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're both just a little bit pissed off still from the ending to that match, really. But we'll try and move on. I actually have very little written about this next segment because, quite honestly,
Anyways.
it was a waste of fucking time. We have next, 1 second because the thing's blocking me. We have the whole Vince, Steph, Vince, Steph, and Shane, who's gonna run Raw segment. Over
That was
20 fucking minutes this took.
It's like 20 minutes to make a decision on who runs Raw when you could have done it in 3 fucking seconds.
Fair enough, you might want to come out and showboat. You had the whole Enzo incident. You've got some spare time now. You've got at least another 10-15 minutes there. No reason you couldn't have given some of that time to another match, by the way. But 20 minutes for Vince to say, Shane, Steph, you're both going to be running Raw together. Fucking deal with it.
Yeah, it's like, find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Because the thing is supposed to be like, Vince is never gonna let off his support for Stephanie because that's how he is. But then Vince is already understanding at this point that Shane has been doing good. Like he's starting to realize, okay, you proved me wrong. You're not bad at this. Maybe you deserve a chance too. But I want Stephanie to. But you can obviously tell he still wants Stephanie, and it'll probably lead to something obvious. But
a lot
honestly,
of people think it's a brand split coming up in a few months. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, if there is a brand split happening, if Shane goes to SmackDown, they'll be like, he could make SmackDown relevant again.
Here's the thing, I actually think a brand split would be a good idea right now, because this means that people would not have to cope with just having Reigns in the title picture. You could build up another star on, say, Reigns goes to Raw. You could build up a main eventer for SmackDown. It is a good idea. You kind of need that right now because WWE are trying to push Reigns as the big guy. Obviously, that's not really working. Have a brand split. Get someone else as the main star on SmackDown.
Because here's the thing: if they brought back the brand split, it would actually give me a reason to watch SmackDown again.
Yeah, when they combined the two. The shows a couple of years ago, a lot of people were happy about it. I personally wasn't, because here's the thing, during the mid-2000s, a lot of people get made. You had Cena, you had Batista, both on their own respective brands. Major stars made from those two. Randy Orton as well. Jeff Hardy was a fucking main eventer, for Christ's sake, during that time, and was over big time.
Huge.
He was big time huge. CM Punk had some failed runs with the World Heavyweight Championship. He got over because of the whole brand split. But
the run he was given in 2009 is like the Straight Edge Society leader, like he's basically like his own messiah. That was fucking fantastic work.
Yeah, you could do some serious
the top heel of SmackDown at the time. He was so fucking good.
You could do some serious good with a brand split at the moment. But again, we'll have to see what happens. Personally, if it does happen, I don't see it happening until maybe after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a waste of 20 fucking minutes right here. I'd be honest, I didn't.
Too long.
I made no real notes here. Shane got a big pop. Other than that, this was a Raw segment to waste time.
Pretty much.
Anyway, after that we get the recap of the pre-show. We then get more Count WWE pandering from the announce team now, and not just commercials. And finally, I know, I have heard good things about it, and it is a M-rated TV show, but
yeah, it's an adult cartoon. It's like seriously adult cartoon.
Yeah, I'll have to at least check out an episode or two of it.
Yeah, I need to as well, because I don't want to just write it off.
Yeah, exactly. I will write off showing me the same fucking thing 20 times, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Showing it so often is like, please just stop.
I'm seeing flashbacks to the whole $9.99 a month and the WWE app for your fucking tablets and phones. For fuck's sake, I don't want that shit every time.
Me neither. I'm tired of seeing all the damn trends too that show up. Like, enough with the Twitter stuff already. Just get to the damn match. Stop worrying about what people are trending. Just talk about the match. The match, please. Okay, anyways.
Anyway, speaking of match, it's time for the main event. Your WWE Championship match. The WWE Champion, Roman Reigns, versus AJ Styles. Yay!
I'm sorry, I had to.
Alright, we get a nice package for the build-up. I didn't obviously see any of the Raws, but the build-up for the match actually looked pretty good. I don't know if it was actually any good, but the package
The build-up package was pretty good.
No, I'm talking about the actual build-up on Raw. I don't actually know if it was any good, but the package made it look good. I've made a note here. I'm still not a fan of AJ's music.
AJ's music is okay.
You don't mind it. I personally don't like it, but before Reigns even comes out, the crowd start booing, and the boos get even louder as soon as his music hits. Ladies and gentlemen, your face of the company.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is supposed to be the top guy. Really? I can't imagine he would be. He's booed to crazy. He's booed like hell.
You would think he's the
top guy. Believe it, damn it.
You think he was the main heel going into this?
Not.
You think he was the heel in this? I've got here the commentary team still trying to get Reigns to look like the guy, and it got really annoying really fucking quickly.
It's so blatantly obvious. It's like, just let... him turn heel. He's got no other decision. I mean, they're trying to book him somewhat that way, but you can tell they're still trying to treat him as if he's still the guy. I'm like, treat him as just the heel guy. Treat him as a villain, which he is at this point.
I want to talk more about Reigns as soon as we're done with this, but we get some crowd chanting for AJ. We get a Roman sucks chant as well, and the match finally starts. Roman overpowers AJ's moves to begin with. AJ with a bunch of kicks to the back of Roman's leg. We get a nice running arm drag from AJ, which sends Roman outside, who does sell his leg pretty well. And I will give Reigns this: he does sell the leg pretty well throughout the entire match. I'll give him that much.
So here's the thing with I'm gonna bring it Reigns for something. I don't hate Reigns. I don't hate him as a person or even a wrestler for that matter. I just hate the way he's booked.
I hate his position on the card, and I hate the way he's booked.
Yeah, his position on the card. That's what I meant by position on the card, aka the way he's booked.
Oh, fair enough. I thought you meant like overpowered and all that stuff.
I don't hate Reigns as a guy, because I do think he can do a few good things. I mean, some of the moves he does are not that bad, honestly. They're not bad for some of those moves that he does. I mean, the Superman punch is pretty dumb and stupid, but he does. Like, the spear he does is actually a pretty good spear. Like,
oh yeah, it's a nice spear.
Like, I love Edge. Edge is still one of my favorite wrestlers, but his spears
were it was terrible. Edge's spear was atrocious. The only spear, I think Goldberg and Rhino probably had the best spears.
Oh, Goldberg! If you got speared by Goldberg, you were pretty much done. I mean, I guess that's maybe why they're trying to make the spear like Reigns' main finisher now.
Yeah.
Because he actually can pull a pretty damn good spear.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Give him that.
Then again, all it is basically what I would call a rugby tackle, and he was an American football player. So
here's the weird thing, though. Reigns has the opposite effect of Cena, booked the same way, but has the opposite in terms of what they're actually good at. Cena can talk. He's got a lot of charisma, but he's not that great of a wrestler. Reigns can wrestle okay.
Oh, I'm gonna disagree.
He is terrible on the mic.
I'm gonna disagree. Reigns can do enough in the ring as long as he's led by someone that knows what they're doing. Give him someone who has no clue what they're doing, he would look like a lost lamb in the middle of a fucking forest with hungry wolves looking at him.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. I'll go more into this a little bit later, but you mind if we get back to the match?
Yes.
All right. Oh, you do mind? Okay then.
Just go to the match. We're rambling so much.
I know.
Episodes are always so damn long. We're bad at this.
All right, we got a big shoulder tackle to AJ from Reigns. AJ goes back to focusing on Reigns' leg again. Reigns with a big clothesline, which turns AJ inside out.
It's nice to know what Styles looks on the inside.
Yeah, and a lot more mucus than I expected. Reigns then does the whole thing where he picks AJ up with one arm for the small powerbomb thing that he likes to do. We then get a sit-down powerbomb not long after that for a 2 count for Roman. Mm-hmm. Reigns goes for a Superman punch. It gets reversed into a nice kick from AJ. AJ looked like a fucking superhero with that kick. Just sort of flew into the air. AJ with a flurry of fast moves for a 2 count. Basically, I don't know if it's got an actual name. He punches, he kicks, and then all that shit.
He does all these things.
Yeah.
And more.
For only $9.99 on the WWE Network.
Go buy it now, unless you don't care for it, in which case, don't bother.
AJ with a nice neck breaker nice neck breaker for a 2 count. A springboard move countered into another counter, once again countered, and finally AJ locks in the calf crusher. I apologize for not writing it all down, but fuck that. Roman is then sent outside, and we get a lovely, fantastic moment from a phenomenal forearm off the top rope to Roman outside, which sends them both through the table. I thought it was fucking fantastic. The 10 count starts from the ref. AJ tries with all his might to get Reigns back in the ring, but he can't, and AJ wins by count out.
Oh.
And then here comes the money.
That I still love that music.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Shane comes out and announces the match will not end this way, and now makes the match a no count out. Yeah, as soon as he said just no count out and not no disqualification as well, you kind of knew what was going to be coming.
Yeah, I kind of predicted.
Yeah.
Only no count out. Oh, we already know what's happening here.
But that doesn't happen quite yet. The match restarts and both are in the ring again. AJ with a flurry of punches. It gets the nice Pele kick. A 450 splash attempt accounted with Roman's knees for a 2 count for Roman. AJ goes to the top rope for a move. Roman hits him and it looks like he hits him in the bollocks. I'm not sure. But hey, I'm British. I'm allowed to say it.
Hey, I like the word bollocks, so I say it anyways, even if
bollocks, testicles, whatever you want to call it. It kind of looked like he punched him in the midsection. I think it was meant to be in the balls, obviously. DQ win for AJ. And no surprise, Stephanie McMahon's music hits. She comes out and says, like always, my brother forgot to mention something. This match is also no disqualification, and the match restarts once again. So now we have a no disqualification, no countouts match for the WWE Championship. Why not just make this the rule from the get-go?
Yeah,
oh, well.
That's what it should have been. They should just start the match this way instead of having to sit through. Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have to do it this way because my brother's an idiot.
Yeah, but as soon as Shane said earlier that it was no count out and never mentioned no disqualifications, you knew Stephanie was going to be coming out to say it was no disqualification. It was just a matter of time. Oh well. Anyway, AJ gets thrown outside by Reigns, who takes control of the match. He sends AJ over the barricade. The two brawl in the crowd for about 30 seconds, I believe. AJ takes control again and sends Roman over the barricade, and Roman looks like he falls bollocks first onto the table edge, which is fucking painful looking, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that. There was like a couple of my friends thinking, Jesus.
I actually winced when I saw that. Ooh, nasty.
Well, you wince because, one, bollocks.
Yeah.
Table, and two, Roman Reigns has bollocks.
Yeah, true. Oh well. No big loss. He's got two for a reason. Anyway, we get a phenomenal forearm counted midair for a Superman punch from Reigns, which only garners a 2 count. Which was nice to see AJ showcase as a strong enough opponent to actually be able to kick out of a finisher from Reigns. Reigns takes objective to this, just picks AJ straight back up and hits him immediately with a second Superman punch.
Yep.
I actually thought that was where the match was going to end. I'm glad it didn't, though. Out comes Gallows and Anderson, the Bullet Club, as I refer to them in my notes.
Or then, well, they're the Bullet Club, but for me and my friends, we're the Bagel Club.
Alright, I'll call them the Bagel Club then.
No. They're still the Bullet Club.
Fair enough.
Me and my friends are the Bagel Club.
Anyway, the Bullet Club.
To put it short, it's basically a stupid meme that me and I started doing one night.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that before we started.
Yeah, the whole Bagel Club thing, that silly thing. I don't know why I did it now, but now it's forever
cemented.
It's forever memorialized.
But yeah, the Bullet Club attack Roman. They hit him with, I think it was called the Boot of Doom, where Gallows picks him up on his shoulders, and Anderson basically drop kicks Roman, who's on Gallows' shoulders.
Yeah, the way the camera shows that, sometimes it just looks like Anderson is just hitting Gallows in the face, even though that's not the case.
Oh, that's what it looked like for me anyway, from the camera angle. So
yeah.
With Roman down, AJ takes a long time to get back in the ring. Obviously, he's taken 2 Superman punches, so you can forgive that, I guess. He does manage to get a phenomenal forearm, and it does look, for a second, I will admit, for a second I was thinking, holy shit, they're going to give him the title. But he only gets a 2 count. Out come the Usos to booze, by the way. They start brawling with the Bullet Club. Yeah, the Busos. AJ goes to the top rope. He gets pushed off by Roman, who falls onto the Bullet Club and the Busos. Roman then does a nice suicide dive outside over the top rope onto the Usos and the Bullet Club. AJ does manage to move out the way, I should note.
Yep.
AJ gets onto the barricade and does a phenomenal forearm off the barricade onto Reigns.
Yep.
So that's how many has he taken? 2, 3 at this point?
I don't know.
Let's just call it 2. Let's just call it 2 for now. Gets him back in the ring, hits a 450 splash. What a surprise! Reigns kicks out at 2.
He really is becoming the next Cena.
Yeah. Styles goes for the Styles Clash, but Reigns powers out. The phenomenal forearm dodged, and Reigns gets the spear for the free count, and the crowd boos.
Brutal spear, because
oh yeah,
it was a pretty brutal spear. Like Styles completely flipped from that.
Oh, absolutely, he made it look very powerful. But yeah, he gets the free count, and the crowd boos.
Strong, damn it.
The crowd boo, and they keep booing. There was a smattering of applause. I'm not gonna lie, there was some cheering for Reigns. There always is a small percentage of the crowd that do like Reigns. But yeah, the boos started off.
Those will disappear fast.
I'm gonna be honest here, I thought this was a fantastic match. I thought both men had really good chemistry. Roman sold the leg really well for the entire match. I thought both men looked strong, but I do think Roman looked way overpowered.
Yeah.
He essentially took 3 or 4 phenomenal forearms, which are one of AJ Styles' finishing moves, by the way. 2 you can let go. More than that, no. It's just too much.
It's like, why so many times?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I found Roman really impressive in this match.
Roman honestly was not bad at this match. He did a good job for what he was given. I mean, would I consider a fan of him now after this match? No. There's a lot of things he still needs to work on, and of course, the way he's being booked is still a reason for people not to like him. Yeah,
this brings me back to what I was saying earlier. These guys have really good chemistry, and I saw something in the forum I'm a member of. It said Reigns has never had a bad, constantly putting on great matches. I'm going to disagree with this. Reigns is being led to great matches by people he's in the ring with.
Yes.
AJ Styles, fantastic, but he's a veteran. He's been doing this for a long time. Reigns had somewhat.
That's the thing with Styles. He can easily carry someone.
Oh yeah, match. He proved it.
Because that's how good he is.
Yeah, you had his match with Triple H at WrestleMania, which wasn't really a bad match. He wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
The thing with that match, I think it just went on for too long.
Probably, like I said, Triple H can get at least a decent.
Fair, it was a 5-hour goddamn WrestleMania.
Actually, it was longer than that if you include everything. I'm pretty sure it was closer to 6 or 7. But
whatever.
He had his match last year with Daniel Bryan, which was pretty good. I ain't going to contest that the Brock Lesnar match was good, because I did not like that match at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, but
still better than the Reigns Triple H match.
I'm going to disagree on that, but here's the thing. Roman can be led to a good match, but go look at his matches with Sheamus and Dean Ambrose at the end of last year. Those were fucking terrible.
Yeah. He has to be with a good worker in order to work good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ambrose is not a good worker. He is a good worker. It's just that
he has no chemistry with Reigns in the ring.
No. Ambrose bless his heart, is trying as much as he can, but there's just the way that Reigns works, just Ambrose wouldn't have been able to do much about it.
Yeah. Like I say,
if it was a match with Ambrose and Styles, Ambrose would be fucking on fire.
I think he would anyway.
I guarantee he would be. Like, Ambrose and Styles would be a match that just would burn the house down in excitement. Everyone would be getting they wouldn't be getting the semi, they'd be getting the full tent.
Yeah. Like I say, here's the thing. Right now, I don't want Reigns to have the championship, but I'm less angry about it right now because we're not in WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I did not want Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania. That is the worst
main event material to me.
Especially at WrestleMania. Here's the thing, this is what the summer months are for WWE. Trying out new things, trying out lesser talent with titles and stuff to see how they get over, see if they improve. Now's a good time to be putting Reigns in the championship placement. WrestleMania was the worst time you could do that. The fans were not behind him. You made your fucking main event of WrestleMania 32 a piss take, basically, where the fans were just not happy with it. Reigns put on a real good match tonight with Styles, but he was led to it through Styles. Keep the belt on Reigns for a while if you want, but you need to have that title off him if he doesn't improve before next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that's the thing that just scares me, is a lot of me just thinks, they're still going to push. We're just going to keep going with him anyways. It's like, you need to understand.
Question.
Not working.
Yeah, question. Who do you think takes the title off Reigns? I'm thinking Seth Rollins.
I was also thinking Seth Rollins. Like, Rollins is going to come back, and I guarantee they're probably going to, we're still going to make him, like, a coward heel. I'm like, yeah, good fucking luck.
He's going to get so fucking cheered when he comes back.
Yeah, he's going to get, like, the Triple H 2002 return treatment. He comes back, and the fans will go fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's no way you can keep this guy as heel. He will be...
No.
If you put him against Reigns, he's going to get cheered out the fucking building. Reigns is going to get booed out the fucking building.
Yeah.
Even if they're not in a program together, Seth will get...
the thing is, they were planning to turn... Before the injury, they were eventually planning to turn Rollins face anyways. So
oh, yeah, to have him...
might as well just pick up where you left... Might as well just pick up where you left off.
Well...
Give Rollins the title... And, Rollins can go after Reigns, because Reigns... Try to make Reigns more of a full-fledged heel. Rollins gets pissed off that, like... They basically, the Authority abandoned him after his injury.
Yeah, we'll go more into like our afterthoughts and what we think is going to come up in a moment. But the pay-per-view goes off with a backstage segment with Vince, Shane, and staff with a monitor watching the end of the match. They mention it was a great match and all that stuff, and that AJ Styles is going to get a rematch for the title at Extreme Rules. And that's how the pay-per-view ends off. Yeah, these two showed they have good chemistry. I wouldn't mind watching this again. Alright, we're going to do our match of the night and all that stuff first, and then we'll do the pay-per-view rating afterwards. So, do you want to go first, or shall I, with match of the night?
I can already tell you right now, my match of the night, there were 3 really good matches on this card.
I'm going to say it right now, there was not a bad match on this card.
There really wasn't. I'd say, for me, though, it'd probably have to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Owens versus Zayn?
Yeah, the match just connected with me. Just 2 phenomenal workers putting on a phenomenal match. I
have to admit, it was a tie between Owens and Zayn, but ultimately, I gave it to the main event. I was that impressed.
Wow.
Reigns Styles really did get me on the edge of my seat, and
you chose the best of something and you put Reigns in it. Jeez,
I know
you're pretty hardcore, man.
I said I found Reigns. Reigns obviously he was being led the entire match, but he did his part. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm kind of hard on Reigns at times, but like I said, I don't hate him. I really don't. It's just that
Like I said, if you could be like this, Roman, if you could be like this in every single main event, and you actually improved your talking talents, I would be a fan of you.
Yeah, I hope he realizes this.
Yeah, if you can just feel a little bit more comfortable on the microphone and actually try and look like you're giving a shit what you're actually saying, I would actually be a fan of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, my match of the night, Reigns and AJ, yours, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Alright, next one we have is, we'll go for the moment of the night next.
Phenomenal forearm to the table from Styles.
Exactly the same.
That spot was fucking great.
Here's the thing, it shouldn't have looked that good because it's a fucking forearm, for crying out loud, but it just looks so deadly.
Styles can pull it off. He knows what he's doing.
I thought it was fantastic, and like you said, definitely the moment of the night.
Yes.
Alright, so we're at least agreed on that. Alright, superstar of the night.
This is hard.
Do you want me to go first?
Please do.
Alright, despite me loving the main event and even giving the moment of the night to AJ's phenomenal forearm, I can't give it to anyone else but Kevin Owens.
Hey, you agree with me.
I
love Styles. I really...
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite workers.
He put on a fantastic match.
Kevin Owens tonight was just... Or not tonight, on Sunday night, was on fire. He was so good
like I said, the match we had with Sami Zayn, that was literally like a fly's testicle away from being my match of the night. I just gave it to Styles Reigns in the end because of how it made me feel at the time. But Owens and Zayn put on a fantastic match. Owens was then fantastic on commentary. He also cut a really good promo saying he was going after the IC strap. There was nobody else who could have been Superstar of the Night.
Yeah.
And
I just think he just did an excellent job. Yeah.
So we're agreed on 2 of the 3 anyway.
Hooray.
Alright then, what was your overall pay-per-view rating?
I'd say, honestly, despite what happened to Enzo and, despite the whole fucking stupid shitty-ass screwjob finish.
Just to clarify, by the way, the tag team match was actually pretty decent for the time that it actually went on.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not rating it, but it was looking to be a pretty good match before that happened.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to see those 2 teams go at it some point on the pay-per-view, so...
Yeah, hopefully. I'd say, despite those, I'd say this was a pretty much solid B.
You're giving it a B?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a B+.
The reason I gave it a B rather than a B+ like you did is mostly because of the screwjob finish and what happened with Enzo. I mean, it's not fair to downrate it, but, it just really left for having watched it live, it really made it felt a bit more depressing.
Yeah, I can understand. Like I said, I didn't watch it live, so I didn't really... I basically took the entire tag team match out of the equation when I was rating the pay-per-view.
In fact, I'll tell you right now. That night I watched it would be a B. If I were to watch it again, probably would be a B+.
Definitely a really good pay-per-view. I wouldn't say... I still think the NXT TakeOver Dallas was easily the best one we've seen so far this year.
People won't remember it for how it was booked because... Let's be honest, they again really took the safe and easy route with it, but the thing was the matches themselves were just really good, and that's what I think the pay-per-view will be remembered as time goes on.
Yeah, as I said, there wasn't a single bad match on this pay-per-view. Everyone put in a hard effort. The only one that was kind of meh was the Ziggler Baron Corbin match, but even
that was the pre-show.
Yeah, but that was the pre-show. Hell, even the Miz put on a good match, for crying out loud.
Yeah. And I never thought I'd be saying that.
Yeah. So, that's Payback in the books. We're not quite done yet. We'll go to what we think is going to happen afterwards shortly. But first, we have the... Trivia Challenge.
Holy crap, I just banged my keyboard so hard as doing that I accidentally locked out.
Oh well, I need to get some fucking sound effects on my phone or something for these things. Oh well, Alright, here's the thing we do here. Every episode, we do a trivia challenge. We'll ask each other 3 questions relating to the WWE. Everything WrestleMania 1 and after that. Nothing WCW, TNA, or anything like that. Purely WWE. I don't know what our current score is, but I know I'm only 1 ahead of you.
Yes, that is correct.
I'll have to go back and check what the scores actually are for whenever we do the next episode. But do you want to go first, or shall I?
Well, hell with it. I'll go. All right. So I didn't.
Oh, and by the way, we're not allowed to cheat. We're not allowed to go on the internet. This is on this, but we can't obviously see each other, so we're kind of going on an honor system here that we won't cheat.
Okay, give me a second. No, of course not. Anyways, so I didn't rank these questions at all. So difficulty. Who knows? It just depends on how you find it, I guess.
Fair enough.
So, my first question here is: one of the Undertaker's 21 consecutive victories at WrestleMania included a win by disqualification. And you have 2 options here: either whom did he beat via disqualification, or which WrestleMania did that particular match take place where he won via DQ?
I can tell you both, actually.
Oh,
WrestleMania.
This is the easy one for you then.
WrestleMania 9 against Giant Gonzalez.
And there you go. There you go.
Yep. Here's the thing.
Bonus points. Why did he win via disqualification?
Chloroform.
There you go. You remember that one quite well.
No, here's the thing. Have you ever heard of a podcast called the OSW?
The what? Sorry.
OSW review. It's a video podcast.
Oh yeah, OSW. I know them.
I
think they're hilarious.
Yeah, they're Irish. I actually watched their WrestleMania 9 episode yesterday.
Yeah, OSW is hilarious. I really enjoy their stuff.
Yeah. So I actually saw that I actually saw them talking about that match yesterday. That's how I remember it. I would have gotten Giant Gonzalez anyway. I probably wouldn't have been able to remember the chloroform or the actual WrestleMania though.
But you remembered the chloroform, so
yeah.
Chloroform.
I don't know, however the hell you say it. Anyway, we'll call that one to me. Obviously, like we said, Thunder is technically only 1 point behind overall anyway. So.
Yep.
I don't really have these in a set order, so I'm just going to pick one at random of the three I've got. Alright. There's been a bunch of Triple Crown winners in the WWE. Can you tell me who is the most recent one?
Ooh, most recent Triple Crown, huh?
Right, and just in case anyone's wondering, Triple Crown winner in WWE means you've won the WWE Championship.
Basically, Triple Crown is just basically when you complete the 3 most difficult or prestigious events.
Yeah. And in this case,
you get the 3 major. You've had the 3 major
championships. And in this case, it's the WWE Championship, the Tag Team Championships, and the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah.
So, I know there's been a lot of Triple Crown winners, but I can tell you because of WrestleMania 31, the most recent Triple Crown champion was Daniel Bryan.
Fucking hell, correct.
You probably want to just put Bryan in there somewhere, did you? Because we all miss him, man.
I do miss him, but I'm gonna be honest. I was never a big Bryan fan.
I was.
I miss Punk more than anyone. So, can I have my second question, please?
Yes, you can. In fact. So the 27th entrant in the Royal Rumble has been the most successful because 4 wrestlers have won the Rumble when entering in at number 27.
Correct.
Name one of the 2 entrant numbers that is tied for the second most successful.
Say that question again, because I don't think... All right.
So, the most successful number entrant for a Royal Rumble contestant to win the Rumble is number 27 because there's been 4 winners. The second place is tied between 2 different numbers.
All right, I get what you mean.
Name just one of the 2.
I think I know both actually, but I'm just gonna guess it. You said I've got to name one of the 2.
Just one. And if you get the first one wrong, then you get another chance because.
Can I give you both? Can I give you both answers then? Because you said there's 2.
Yes.
1 and 30.
Correct on 30, incorrect on 1.
Really?
Yeah. There's only been 2 winners who entered at number 1.
Oh yeah, Mysterio entered at number 2.
Yeah.
Mysterio
was number 2.
I was thinking Mysterio entered 1 for some reason.
If you want to know, the other number that's so 30's had 3 victories.
Yeah, I know 30 had 3 wins.
The other number that's tied with it is number 24. Hulk Hogan in 91, Steve Austin in 98, and The Rock in 2000.
Yeah. I got Rey Mysterio mixed up. I kept thinking he'd entered number 1 in 2006 for some reason.
You still get the point.
Fair enough.
Because I said you just need one of them, and you did say number 30.
Yeah. Alright then, my second question for you. This one, as you're a fan of him, might be pretty easy, so I'm going to pick this one. How many times has Stone Cold Steve Austin been WWF Tag Team Champion?
I'm sorry?
How many times has Stone Cold Steve Austin been WWF Tag Team Champion?
You see, the thing with you is you really like to mention these, interesting questions. Like, you're more in depth than I am at times. I think I'd like to say.
I don't need to know who he was tag team champions with. I do have the list here, but I just need to know how many times.
Okay. Let's see. There was Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. I know that for sure. There was Dude Love because I remember that whole thing where it's like, am I really? There was Triple H because the 2-man power trip, and I think there was one with the Undertaker as well because SummerSlam '98.
So you're saying?
So I'm gonna say
You say 4?
I'm going to say 4 times he was the tag team champion.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct.
Woo!
And you were right with all 4, actually. HBK, Dude Love, Undertaker, and Triple H.
Yeah, I just remember that because I know there was the one with Michaels. Then I knew there was the Dude Love because of the whole what the fuck thing. There's the Undertaker because of the whole thing they were building up to SummerSlam '98 between the two men, and then
Yeah.
there's Triple H because the two-man power trip.
Yeah, I remember. All right, I'm actually not going to take the bonus question from earlier. The bonus point from earlier with the whole chloroform thing. So we're currently tied at 2 apiece.
Yep.
Need my third question, please.
Oh yeah.
It would be very helpful.
The WWF Championship has changed hands 12 times in 1999. Of those rings, whom held it the longest? And bonus points for how long did he hold it?
Oh, by the way, when we say bonus points, we just kind of mean like bragging rights, really.
Yes.
Okay. When you say who held it the longest, you mean over just one period of holding it, or multiple times of holding it that year?
A single ring.
A single reign. All right. All right. Rock won in technically as champion. Mick Foley won it half him. Rock won it back. Triple H held it quite a while towards the thing. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to think.
Yes.
Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking damn it. Here's the thing. Steve Austin won it at WrestleMania. I know he lost it at SummerSlam, but I can't remember if there was some fuckery where he lost it between those two. Triple H had a reign that lasted about 2 months towards the end of the year. I'm gonna say Steve Austin.
Fuck.
I'm right?
Yes, you are. He not only held it the longest ring of that year, he also held the second longest ring that year.
When?
So how much would you? But
I don't know because
I'll get into that. I'll get into that. But just I'm curious for bonus points. How many days? You have to be.
This is
if you're at least even a few days off, I'll still count it because you know. It is.
This is a pure fucking guess. I'm gonna guess 65 days.
That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
The longest ring he had the longest ring that year with 56 days, and then he also had the second longest ring that year with 55 days.
Oh, fair enough. Oh,
He lost it to the Undertaker at Over the Edge. Got it the next pay-per-view back. Got it back at like the next pay-per-view or whatever. I think. And then held the title until SummerSlam, in which he dropped it to Mankind and Mick Foley.
All right.
And then Triple H won at the next Raw.
Yeah, I remember. Sorry to cut the show. I need to go and answer the phone real quick. I might be a couple minutes.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a phone call real fast.
Oh boy.
So yeah. Did I have another question for you? I can't remember. Yes, I did have one more question. All right. The Shield, Rollins and Roman Reigns won the Tag Team Championship at which pay-per-view?
That's really your last question?
Yes.
Okay, well, if I can remember correctly...
I can give you the match if you need it.
I mean, you could if you want to. I mean, you don't have to.
Alright, I'll tell you this much. It was against Kane and Bryan, Team Hell No.
Ooh, so there was them. Yeah, it was, I think it was Extreme Rules, wasn't it?
Which year?
2013.
Correct.
Extreme Rules.
Alright, we're both 3 for 3, which means I'm still only 1 point ahead of Thunder overall. Let's try and change that next time.
I swear to God, I'm gonna force you to tie it back up, or I get ahead. I'm gonna make it happen one day. Damn it!
Let's see if you can do it before the end of the year.
Of course.
But yeah, that was Payback, a really enjoyable pay-per-view overall. We mentioned that we would speak a little bit about what we expect to see from this point forward for a while. I've got a couple of minutes left, so we'll try and get as much in as we can in the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, we both believe that should Rollins come back, chances are he'll either be put in a program with Reigns or in a program, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, with Triple H. At least that's the rumor.
I can understand if they would put him in a thing with Triple H. Say like he comes back, he's still kind of pissed that the Authority abandons him. Triple H comes saying, "Hey, what's the problem? We'll give," like Stephanie says, "We'll give you a match with Reigns." Basically, he goes to do the match. He's about to beat Reigns or something. Then Triple H comes out and maybe to inspect or something, just wondering, and then it causes Reigns to win. Rollins mad, like, why did you do that for? And it's like, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So he's gifted like another chance, and I don't know. I'm terrible at booking shit.
Here's the thing: even if you want to do it with Reigns and Rollins, here's the thing. All right, a lot of people are like, "Oh, John Cena should have been turned heel." No, there's a reason John Cena should always be face. But the fact of the matter is, Reigns' core personality is in line with a heel. It wouldn't necessarily mean he's a better wrestler, but it would make more sense for him to be a heel, maybe align with the Authority, and have him go up against a returning babyface Seth Rollins.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll see where they go with that. Honestly, I'm really hoping, though, the whole
it goes somewhere.
Thing, please do not turn Styles heel. He's too popular for that right now.
It wouldn't work anyway. Even if they do turn him heel, the crowd will still cheer for him.
Yeah.
The crowd are the ones that determine who's face and who's heel. Let's face it.
Yeah. The crowd loves Styles enough that they don't want to turn. That if they turn him heel, it will be a big mistake.
Well, it won't even be a mistake. It just won't be what the WWE want.
Okay, now Fatal 4-Way Extreme Rules for the title, for the Intercontinental title.
Yep. Oh, obviously,
I want to say, for some reason, Sami Zayn will somehow pull it off.
I think it's going to be Zayn versus Owens at SummerSlam for the IC title, but I think they're going to keep it with The Miz for a little bit longer.
I really hope they don't. And then,
either that or Cesaro gets a short run.
I want Cesaro, please give him I would be totally cool with Cesaro getting a title. The guy deserves one.
Yeah. It won't last for long, maybe a month or two. But I don't see Zayn Owens getting the IC title yet. I think they're going to build out for SummerSlam, but it's too far away from SummerSlam at the moment for them.
Yeah, and then on women's championship match, they'll probably if they give Natalya a run, it might be because she may be on her way out or something like that, which she probably would be doing because wants to be able to spend more time to look after Tyson Kidd and whatnot.
Yeah, can't blame her.
And then honestly, after that, if they keep Charlotte the championship, they need to make sure they have a program with that it goes into a program with either Becky or Sasha or one of the two.
Hell, even have Bayley debut and go against her.
Yeah. That'd be cool with that.
Yeah, it's definitely plenty that can be happening right now with the women's division, which is a nice change of pace. Long-term effect, if it's not Rollins, who do you see taking Reigns' title? Because you know what WWE are like.
They'd be like, let's give the title back to either Brock Lesnar or John Cena.
That is another rumor. Cena versus Reigns at SummerSlam.
We don't need to see it. If they want to do the match, fine, but don't make it for the title.
I think if they want to do it so it's one of those whole passing of the torch things, here's the thing, you've got Cena, a guy who, let's face it, has maybe half the audience on his side, against Reigns, who has maybe a quarter of the audience on his side.
Probably not even a quarter.
Nah, I feel it's about right, but you're really not setting yourself up here. You're determined to push this one guy who the fans really don't want to see pushed, and you're really looking past a lot of the stars that are really over at the moment. To be fair, I mean, you're not doing it to the thing. You made AJ look pretty good in his match with Reigns, and the fact that you're giving him a rematch will probably be a lot of fun. But let's make no mistake about it, AJ is not winning that match.
No.
The chance of him winning that match is about the same chance of me growing a third testicle, for fuck's sake. But I really don't know what else to say about it. Would be helpful if they did this brand split. That would definitely help create a new star, I guess.
Yeah. Would definitely help.
Yeah, fair enough. Is that pretty much it for this episode?
That's all I can think about for now.
Alright, well, hope you guys enjoy this. We promise we will eventually get around to reviewing WrestleMania 1, by the way.
Yes, if I can remind myself to watch the damn thing.
Here's the thing, we both have access to it right now, and even if that wasn't working, I actually own a VHS copy, but I'd rather watch it on my computer. Yeah. Hopefully we get around to that. If not, the next episode will be Extreme Rules, as always.
Yep.
Thunder will try and get the score sheet back for the trivia challenge, back to at least average, so we're both on the same plane. Good luck with that, buddy.
It's gonna happen, I promise. One day, you will be stumped.
You've already... There has been once, I think, where I didn't get an answer correct.
Yeah, I'm saying to tie it back up, though.
Yeah. Oh, no. Come on.
I want it to happen.
You want to win, not get it all tied up, for fuck's sake.
Well, see, you are correct on that, but, at the same time, you're better at this than I thought you would be, so I'll give you that.
15 years straight of watching wrestling, dude. It happens.
Does it really now?
Yeah, especially when you put so much fucking money into the thing you love, like wrestling. Yeah. Over 100 fucking VHS tapes at one point, actually closer to 150.
And how many of those still work?
I wouldn't know because I made the big mistake of selling them a couple of years ago. Yeah, I felt like such a retard. Alright guys, we're going to end this off here. We apologize for the lateness of this episode. Hopefully you did enjoy it nonetheless. We'll see you with either Extreme Rules or WrestleMania 1 next time.
Yep.
Sayonara.
Deuces!